Today's video is the newest episode of my What I'm Watching series. In this series, I give you 3 selections across 3 different streaming services. The goal with this series is to provide you with selections that are going to entertain you, but can also offer you some learning experiences as well. Let's go ahead and dive right into today's selections. First up is going to be the movie Bird Box Barcelona. This one can be found on Netflix, and it is set at the same time as the original Bird Box movie with Sandra Bullock, but this one is taking place in Barcelona as the title suggests. Now, although these do have the same title, this one has a twist in it from the original movie. It's not going to be what it seems at first. There's going to be that twist in there, and you may or may not be expecting it. I know there's one part in particular where the main character is on a bus, and when he turns and gives a certain look, that's when I knew this was going to be different. While the original, I feel, had more of a horror element to it, I feel like Bird Box Barcelona has more of a thriller element to it. You're trying to figure something out. If you've already seen the original, then you kind of already know the plot line. But in this one, I feel like you're kind of given an extra little mystery to figure out. I also feel like this movie has a little bit more of a religious element to it, where the first movie, I really didn't get that context at all. I also feel that this one is set up for a sequel. Again, the original, you kind of get to the end and that's it. This one, you get to the end, you kind of have a little bit of that resolution, but I feel like it could be open to a sequel. For our second selection, we are going to hop over to Hulu for the movie Beautiful Disaster. Now, 100% being honest with you, I was hesitant to watch this movie because I had read the book before quite a few years ago, and I absolutely loved it. I loved the whole structure of the book. It is part of a series, but that main original book I absolutely love. So I was hesitant when I saw previews of this one, and I'm not gonna lie, apparently I had a reason to be. This one, I felt like it just went way too fast. They skipped over too many details. Now, we've become quite familiar with how movies based on books are transformed, but with this one, I felt like they just kind of took the name, took character names, took a little bit of a plot here, and then ran with it in their own direction. I don't feel as though it is a good representation of the book at all. Speaking of being rushed and kind of changing, deviating from the book, there is one pivotal scene in the book, and that to me is kind of where things take a turn for the 2 main characters. And in the movie, they just skipped it all together. Instead of the actual scene that played out in the book, in the movie, this main character gets drunk and brings home a neighbor's cat. That is absolutely not what happens in the book whatsoever. And again, it's a pivotal scene, and they just changed it. And that also includes the Vegas scenes. The Vegas scenes were very important, very instrumental to the book. And in the movie, they were not only changed, but also rushed as well. And again, that's where a lot of details were given in the book, and they were just kind of glossed over in the movie. For me, I'm going to keep the mental image I have from the book. You know, we kind of all create our own little movie when we are reading. I'm going to stick with that version, because the movie version just did not do it for me at all. I've watched plenty of movies that were based on books, and you know, there's kind of a balance with them. Of course, you're gonna like one more than the other, but usually there is a good middle ground. For this one, I'm once and done. Watching it one time was enough for me. For our third and final selection, we are going to go over to Max. This is going to be where we watch the movie The Meg. Now, I have to say, I kind of watched this one out of boredom. I wasn't really going in with any expectations, especially not high expectations, but I will say that I was pleasantly surprised. It was better than I thought it would be. Now, this is going to be one of those jumpy movies that tests your heart. You are going to be watching it and you are going to jump. Just be prepared. As you can probably imagine, with the storyline of this movie, it does have some strong Jaws similarities. With that being said, I don't think it's a complete knockoff or anything of that nature, but I do see certain Jaws elements in this one, and that's to be expected. It's a movie about a gigantic shark. I will say this, I like this one so much that my family and I are actually going to see The Meg 2 today. This afternoon, we're going to see the sequel. That is how much I like this movie. Those are going to be my 3 selections in this episode. I hope that there was at least one selection that drew your attention and makes you want to go and watch it. If not, if these didn't do anything for you, I do have a full playlist that I will link on the screen for you here, along with the latest episode of what I'm watching. I hope that you will subscribe, give this video a thumbs up if you were interested in any of the selections, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.